What's up guys, welcome back to Daniel Talks Football right here on YouTube. I am Daniel and we are back with another video. We are back to do some predictions for this weekend's Premier League fixtures. You're hearing this on a Friday and it's a very big week of fixtures, so I wanted to do some predictions because there are three massive games, including a North London derby, a Manchester derby and an East Midlands derby. So I had to hop on here and give you my predictions for all of the Premier League fixtures this weekend. Before we do get into it, go down below, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, drop a comment. What do you think of my predictions? Do you disagree with any of them? Drop your predictions down in the comments below and I'll take a look at them and we can see who's the better predictor. But yeah, we'll hop straight into it with the game that is happening on Saturday lunchtime. 12:30 kickoff. It will be shown live on BT Sport from the Emirates Stadium. It's Arsenal in first place versus Tottenham Hotspur in third. Arsenal have obviously played 7 games in, have got 18 points, only losing to Manchester United. Whereas Spurs, while they haven't been playing excellently, they have been picking up the points and have only dropped 4, I think. Drawing a game to West Ham and then, well, they've drawn to West Ham, they've drawn to Chelsea, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. They've dropped 4 points. So it'll be a very entertaining game. There's only 1 point that separates the sides as of current, and they've both been in top form so far this season. However, I think that Mikel Arteta's men will prevail in this one. Conte's side have been grinding out results, and that's always a very good thing. However, they haven't looked good yet. Arsenal have, and I think that will come through in this one. I'm going to say that the Gunners will win 2-1 versus Spurs. I think Gabriel Jesus will score, along with possibly Saka, maybe, Martinelli. For Spurs, I think it'll be Harry Kane. I just think Arsenal have a little bit more than Spurs in this game. So yeah, I think Arsenal will win the game 2-1. You know what I mean. Yeah, 2 goals to 1. Next game up is Bournemouth versus Brentford. 3 o'clock on a Saturday from the Vitality Stadium in Bournemouth. Brentford are in 9th going into the game, while Bournemouth are in 12th. I think Brentford will come out on top on this one. I think it will be a 1-0 scrappy Brentford win. Probably Ivan Toney with the goal. I just don't think Bournemouth will have enough to keep Brentford at bay here. I think Brentford are a better side. They've got the better players. Bournemouth still don't have their manager sorted, which is appalling in all honesty. Unless I've just missed that. Bournemouth haven't got a manager, and that is genuinely appalling because they've had so much time now. So I think Brentford will win it. I think they'll win it 1-0. And I think Toney will get the goal for the Bees. The next game is Crystal Palace versus Chelsea. Again, to be played at 3 o'clock on Saturday. I think Chelsea will win this one. Obviously, Potter's still very new into that Chelsea job. Has he managed a proper game yet? Did he manage the West? No, he hasn't. He hasn't managed a game in the league anyway. I know he managed the Salzburg game in which they drew. But he hasn't managed a league game yet. So this will be Potter's first league game. And I do think will be a successful one for the English manager. I think they'll win the game 2-0 versus Palace, who, while they're at home at Selhurst Park, they are currently lying in 16th in the table. Haven't had the greatest start to the season. And I think Chelsea will come good in this one. I can see Broja getting a goal. I think he'll actually play under Potter. And I can also see Kai Havertz scoring for Chelsea. But yeah, I think 2-0 to Chelsea for this one, and I don't give Crystal Palace much chance in what is a game with 2 London sides, not a London derby, of course. Fulham versus Newcastle in the next game. This is again going to be played at 3 o'clock on Saturday from the Craven Cottage. Fulham are in 6th going into the game with Newcastle in 10th. However, I mean, looking at the table, you'd say they're the underdogs. I don't think they are in general. I think Newcastle will win this game. I think Newcastle will win it 2 goals to 1. I think Isaac will get a double for Newcastle, and I think Mitrovic will score for Fulham. I just think that Newcastle are the better side than Fulham at the moment. You know, you look at Fulham under Silva, and while they've been good, they have I don't want to say they've played easy games, but they've beat Brentford, they've beat Brighton, and they've beat Forest. Out of the 6 games they've played, have they played 6 or have they played 7, Fulham? Fulham have played 7, sorry. Out of the 7 games they've played, they are 3 games that if you do want to stay up, you do need to be picking points out of. I think Newcastle are the better side. I think they've got the momentum behind them. I think Eddie Howe has really managed to rally up the Geordies. And I think Newcastle will win this game by 2-1 versus Fulham. Next game we have is Southampton versus Everton. I'm going to be honest, I don't really want to talk about this much. I think it'll be a 0-0 ball draw. I think Bazuna will have a good game. Who's going to be playing for Everton? Is it Begovic? Will Begovic be Everton's keeper, or will it be no, they didn't sign Carrier, so who did Everton sign? They signed Jakupovic, that's it. I think it'll be a 0-0 ball draw. Everton can't seem to hit the back of the net, and Southampton maybe could get one, but I just can't see Southampton winning the game. So yeah, 0-0, and both sides will take a point away from the St Mary's Stadium. Next game up is Liverpool versus Brighton. Obviously, Brighton's first game under their new manager in De Zerbi. I think Liverpool will come out on top in this one. Yes, they've had a rough start to the season, currently lying in 8th place in the table, with Brighton actually above them in 4th. But that was Graham Potter's Brighton. What's De Zerbi's Brighton going to look like? We don't know. And they could have that element of surprise over Liverpool. It won't be a routine victory for Klopp's men. However, I just don't know what De Zerbi's going to bring, so I can't bet on Brighton to get anything out of it. Because they could easily lose 6-0. We don't know what De Zerbi will bring. So I'll go 3-1 to Liverpool. I think Salah will finally score. Diaz to get one, and possibly Firmino as well. For Brighton, I think it will be Pascal Gross. And yeah, I think it will end up being 3-1 to the Reds. Next up, we have West Ham versus Wolves from the London Stadium. This will be the 5:30 kickoff and we're shown live on Sky Sports. West Ham are in 18th place and Wolves are in 17th place, with both sides having very poor starts to the season, currently sitting on 4 and 6 points respectively. I think this will be a draw. I think it'll be 2-2. Neither side's defence seems amazing at the moment, and I like both sides' windows. While they didn't maybe bring in the depth, I'm looking at Wolves there. Some of their signings, I'm looking at the Paquetas for West Ham, and I'm looking at the his name's gone out of my head, Matheus Nunez for Wolves. I think they're both top signings. I think this will be 2-2. I think Costa will open his Wolves account and open the scoring for Wolves. Before, I'll say it, Paqueta will score for West Ham. Antonio will get the second. And then Matheus Nunez will score the final goal for Wolves. Probably quite a nice goal I can see going in to tie up the game 2-2, and everyone will think that was a very, very good game. The next game we have is the big one of the weekend, the Manchester Derby, 2 o'clock on Saturday, to be shown live on Sky Sports main event. Man City in 2nd in the table, with United in 5th. I think City win it. I think it'll be a tight game. They always are. It's not really about who's the better side. It's about who can scrap more. And I think City can scrap more. I think City will win the game 1-0 through Erling Haaland. Who else? And I think City will come out on top here. 1-0 to the Citizens. And it's just the only outcome I can really see. Next game, we've got 2 more games left now. The next game is Leeds versus Villa. Again, Sunday, 4:30 this time, again on Sky Sports main event from Ellen Road though. And I do think that Leeds home support will carry Leeds over the line here. I think they'll win the game 2-0 versus a very poor performing Villa side in 15th under Gerrard, compared to Leeds, who are in 11th. Villa haven't had a good start to the season with all that quality. I know there's a lot of sides that are down there, the Wolves, the West Hams, the Leicesters. Villa haven't had a good start to the season, and I've picked up quite a few lucky results, I feel. Gerrard's under a lot of pressure, and I think this loss versus Leeds will only add to that. I can see... Who can I see scoring for Leeds? I think Brendan Aronson will get one, and I also think that... who else do I think will score? I think that... Jack Harrison will get one. Go on then. think it'll be 2-0 to Leeds. And I think they'll just play Villa out of the park, to be honest. They'll scrap away like that side does. Marsh has got them some playing. Marsh has got them as a good unit, sorry. And I think they'll beat Villa. And then the big one, the game that I'm actually going to, Leicester versus Forest, next Monday, 8 o'clock. I'm obviously a Leicester fan, but I'm not going to be biased here. I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. I think Leicester will probably open the scoring, because that's what we seem to do at the moment, through Patson Daka, before I think Forest will come back and score through Taiwo Awoniyi. Don't think either side will end up winning the game, and I do think it'll be a draw, which I think could, well, I've said this so many times now, I'm so sorry, which I think could be the end of Brendan Rodgers, and could also possibly start looking at the end for Steve Cooper. But yeah, those are my predictions for this weekend's fixtures. I hope you have enjoyed them. If you have, slap a like on the video. Go subscribe below. Tell me in the comments what you thought of it. Go share it to all your friends and all of that. And I'll catch you again in the next video. See ya!